Hello and welcome to another edition of Autocar India's Quick News, your weekly roundup of all the launches, hot scoops and all the news that's happening in the world of automobiles. But before we begin, to catch more videos and keep updated through the week, do remember to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest uploads. With all the new car and bikes, the newly elected government has announced its union budget, and while the auto industry that has been in a downward spiral needed a boost, the budget mainly concentrates on electric mobility. For starters, GST on EVs will be brought down to 5% from the existing 12%, and buyers will also get an additional income tax deduction of Rs 1.5 lakh on the interest paid on loans for any electric vehicles. To further aid the EV industry and make India an EV hub, the government would also exempt certain auto components from import duty. Sadly though, the government has also imposed an additional 1 rupee per litre special additional duty and road infrastructure cess on both petrol and diesel. Now with India going all electric, we here at Autocar India have taken a lead and put up a whole bunch of reviews on upcoming electric cars and SUVs on our YouTube channel. So make sure you watch all of those. And as a state, Kerala seems to be taking the lead with electric mobility too. Let's have a look at those details. Kerala aims to have 10 lakh electric vehicles on the road by 2022. The ambitious target set by the Chief Minister of Kerala will include a pilot fleet of 3,000 buses, 200,000 or 2 lakh two-wheelers and 50,000 three-wheelers and 1,000 goods carriers. While these moves towards electric mobility are in the right direction, we have to wonder, where is the public and private infrastructure to charge these vehicles? Manufacturers are already jumping onto the EV bandwagon, and we've already told you about the Hyundai Kona EV that's launching soon in our video last week, and there are a few more electric vehicles in the pipeline, but that is coming up later in the video. SUVs and even more SUVs, that seems to be the flavor of the Indian auto industry, and it's exactly the same this week on the news too. Let's start off with Mahindra's XUV300, and it's the AMT version, and remember, it's just a diesel AMT on offer. This is a 6-speed AMT unit that is mated only to the 1.5-litre unit that makes 117 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque, and is available in two variants. Prices start at 11,50,000 rupees, but putting that into perspective against the competition, the XUV300 AMT is the most expensive diesel automatic sub-4-meter SUV on offer in India. Now, two-tone cars seem to be the trend once again, and Tata has taken note of that trend and launched the two-tone version of the Tata Harrier as an optional package. Yes, you can now have the Harrier with a black roof for an additional 20,000 rupees. Available only on the top of the line XZ trim, the Harrier two-tone option is only available on the signature orange or Callisto copper and the popular white or Orcus white body colors. The MG Hector is certainly proving to be a hot SUV with over 13,000 bookings in just a couple of weeks since its launch, and waiting periods are already well into a few months. For some variants like the top-spec petrol automatic, the Hector has a waiting period of over 6 months. MG has also announced that it will launch a BS6 version of the SUV in January 2020. Continuing with MG and the buzz that's around EVs right now, here's some details on the MG EZS SUV that's going to be launched in India soon. The MG EZS will be launched in India later this year, as we have already reported, but MG will only offer the electric SUV in 5 markets to begin with. These 5 cities will include the Delhi NCR region, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Ahmedabad. The MG EZS electric SUV will be a CKD or will be assembled in India and will be priced around the 25 lakh rupee mark. The automaker has also teamed up with Fortum, a Finland-based energy company that will install fast chargers at MG showrooms across these cities. And sticking to EVs, Audi will launch the E-Tron all-electric SUV in India later this year. We have a few more details about the launch. The Audi E-Tron will make it to India as a full import, and features like cameras that replace the rear-view mirrors are also expected to make it to India too. Every E-Tron buyer will have a standard home charging setup, but fast chargers will also be installed at select Audi dealerships across the country that can charge the SUV to up to 80% capacity in just 30 minutes. The E-Tron will get a 95 kWh battery pack which powers the 2 electric motors with a total of 360 horsepower and 561 Newton meters of torque. In boost mode, power is cranked up to 408 horsepower and 661 Newton meters of torque, and in that mode the E-Tron cracks the 0 to 100 km/h sprint in just 5.7 seconds and is limited to a top speed of 200 km/h. While official range is about 400 km, the real-world driving range of the E-Tron is likely to be about 300 km. Let's put on our helmets and get straight on the two-wheeler launches for this week. It's the Bajaj CT110. The Bajaj CT110 is a new motorcycle in the CT lineup and gets the same 115cc engine that powers the Platina and the Discover. The engine makes 8.6 horsepower and 9.6 Nm of torque and will most likely be mated to a 4-speed gearbox with an all-down shift pattern. The CT110 will be available in two variants with prices about 3,000 to 6,000 rupees more than the CT100. Let's move on to products that are in the pipeline, and here are some SUVs you can look forward to. Let's begin with the Tata Blackbird. Now, the Blackbird, as we've already mentioned in the past, is a Creta rival and will be about 4.2 to 4.3 meters long, and Tata is finding it a little difficult to find a platform to underpin that SUV. Now, sharing technologies and sharing platform between automakers isn't something that's uncommon, and now we have some exclusive details on Tata Motors' plan with Chery, which is a Chinese automaker, on a brand new platform. Tata originally intended to use one of the two new platforms that it already has, the Alpha, on which the Nexon is based, or the Omega, on which the Harrier is based, for this new SUV. But limitations with wheel size, with making the Alpha platform larger and moving the hard points on the Omega platform by making it smaller, meant that both of these options were out of question. This is why Tata will partner with Chery for a new platform for their respective SUVs. While it is not clear which of the Chery platforms Tata will use, the one underpinning the 4338mm Tiggo 4 SUV seems best suited. For more detailed information on this partnership, visit our website autocarindia.com. And in some more Tata Motors news, the Hexa is all set to be replaced next year by the 7-seater version of the Harrier that was already showcased at the Geneva Auto Show as the Buzzard. The Hexa is all set to face the axe, as its 2.2-litre diesel engine will not be made available for passenger vehicle applications post BS6. Although Tata has chosen to upgrade the 2.2-litre diesel engine to meet the stricter regulations, the unit will only be used for commercial applications. The Buzzard, which is a 7-seater just like the Hexa, on the other hand, will get the 2-litre multi-jet diesel engine that does duty in the Harrier already, but with a higher 170 horsepower and 350 Nm of torque. The engine will also get a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic option that has been sourced from Hyundai. Now, we spoke about Tata's Creta rival earlier, but the Creta itself as we know it will soon have a second generation, and that second gen will drop the current lineup of engines. So let's have a look at what's next. The next generation Creta will get a 1.5-litre petrol or diesel engine that will make about 115 horsepower. These engines, which will be BS6 to begin with, will be the same engines used in the Kia Seltos and will also be used in the likes of other Kia and Hyundai vehicles, including the Verna facelift. Expect these engines to get both a manual and automatic gearbox. And talking about new engines and technologies, Hyundai has just showcased the world's first continuously variable valve duration technology. Let's have a look at what that means. What makes this technology unique as compared to older VVT or variable valve timing technology is that the CVVD can actually control how long the valve stays open, as in addition to when it opens in the first place. So for example, the duration the valve stays open when being driven at a constant or sedate speed can be shorter as compared to when driven in a more spirited way. For more information, check out our detailed story on our website. Now, Renault has been on a bit of a roll after a quiet couple of years in India, and we brought you all the details on the sub 4-meter 7-seater Triber MPV a couple of weeks ago, and now we can officially tell you that the updated Renault Duster will make it to India on July the 8th. But that's not the only SUV the French automaker has planned. There is one more. The new Renault sub 4-meter SUV has been named the HBC and will be based on the same CMF-A platform that underpins the Triber. The SUV will be launched in 2021 and will take on the likes of the Maruti Suzuki Vitara Brezza, the Hyundai Venue and a whole host of other sub 4-meter SUVs. The HBC SUV will be powered by a turbocharged 1-litre petrol engine and will be mated to either a 5-speed manual or an AMT gearbox. If this interests you, our website autocarindia.com has more detailed info. The monsoon season is upon us, and sadly that for some means flooding, landslides and a whole bunch of other calamities. And to deal with those calamities, Land Rover has tied up with an NGO called Rapid Response. The specially prepped vehicle will be used in the coming months as an emergency responder for providing medical assistance and distributing emergency supplies across monsoon-ravaged parts of the country. The Discovery Sports' off-road prowess could prove a big help in accessing flood-hit regions. Incidentally, this also marks the 10th anniversary of Jaguar Land Rover in India. Now, Benelli had announced in the past that it will launch the Leoncino Cafe Racer in India, but sadly that never happened. Now with the bike maker in new ownership for Indian operations, it will come to India, and we have some news about what variants will be offered. Internationally, the Leoncino has been shown in 3 variants: Standard, Trail and Sport. However, in India, the bike will only be offered in the Standard version. Benelli will also consider the Trail version of India in the near future, depending on customer feedback. The Leoncino 500 is powered by a 499.6cc liquid-cooled fuel-injected parallel twin that produces 47.6 horsepower and 45 Nm of torque. Let's move on to some global news now. The BMW X6 heralded a whole new body style of SUVs which made competitors like Mercedes-Benz, Porsche, Audi and even Land Rover take notice and launch their own vehicles in the coupe SUV body style. Now though, there is a 3rd generation BMW X6. Let's have a look at the details. The X6 stays true to its revolutionary design language with its sloping roofline, but now gets larger kidney grills in line with BMW's new design language. And just in case you don't notice them, they can also be backlit. In other design cues, the LED headlamps flanking the grills are also a lot more aggressive, while at the rear, the X6 looks like a larger version of the X4. The X6 will be powered by a magnitude of petrol and diesel engines, including a top-spec M50i V8. Expect this gen to make it to India sometime next year. And in more international BMW news, the German automaker will also be launching a new body style on the 2 Series platform, and it will be called the 2 Series GranCoupe. The car will take on the likes of the A-Class sedan and the CLA, along with the Audi A3, and yes, it will make it to India sometime in the future. And on that note, the BMW 3 Series has been confirmed for launch in India, and that launch date is August the 21st, 2019. For more information on what variants and engine options will make it to India, visit our website autocarindia.com. And that's all we have time for this week on the show, and it's turned out to be a bit of an SUV special. That said, leave your views in the comment section below and tell us what you thought about all those new cars and bikes that have been launched and all of those that are upcoming too. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.